YouTube Beast Smokehouse back here with you, and today we're going to be making some pizza. Now, I've made pizza I think at least once here on the channel. Not new to pizza making, but every time I make a pizza, my dough is a bit different in the way that I make it. This dough is going to be a simplistic dough. The only thing that's going to be in here is yeast, sugar, salt, olive oil, bread flour, and water. Now, if you want a less chewier crust or a less chewier crumb, then you can use all-purpose flour. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I got my helper, my daughter here, helping me. So the first thing she's gonna do, she's gonna mix the liquids and yeast. So she's gonna go ahead and grab the warm water, pour it into the mixing bowl. She's gonna get the sugar and the yeast. So let's go. Yep, that's sugar she's putting in. And then she's gonna grab the yeast. She's gonna put it in. And then now she's gonna take a whisk. That yeast is stinking. She's gonna take a whisk and go ahead and get that mixed in. A total of 5 minutes. So now my daughter's going to pour in the olive oil. And one reason we know this yeast is good and we got an active yeast is that we actually got bubbles. We got bubbles. And our yeast is actually reactive, right? If your yeast wasn't doing anything, you come back and your water still looks normal, then either your water's too cold, it's too hot, it killed the yeast. If it's too cold, then it wouldn't activate your yeast. Or 3, your yeast is old. You need to get some new yeast. Next, she's gonna add the salt and flour. Come on. It's gonna form a bit of a sticky dough. Just go, CC. So you watch out. You didn't answer. You just asked me to do it, you spin it. All right, so that's in there. So she's gonna put the head of this mixer down. Lock on, and then we're gonna mix this for the next 5 to 8 minutes. Now, even though you're mixing, you still need to get a spatula or a wooden spoon and scrape down those sides. Again, we don't want any wasted product in this bowl. Now she's gonna come over here. She's gonna flip this switch. Very gentle, Sienna. Very gentle. 2. That's good. We're gonna let this mix. We're gonna bring you guys back when we have this together. What my plan is to actually get me 2 dough balls going. Most recipes not gonna tell you to ferment your dough overnight. However, if you want a supple dough, you want a flavorful, deep flavored dough, we're gonna ferment. And all that fermentation is for us. We're gonna form our 2 dough balls and we're gonna get them covered in a nice hearty bowl, and then we're gonna get them in the fridge. They're gonna ride overnight, and then when I pull them back out tomorrow, we're gonna let them sit here on the counter. They're gonna come to a room temperature, and then we're gonna form our pizzas and put them together. Stay tuned. All right, so now here's our dough. It was very sticky. I've got my bench scraper, and I've got some flour. Again, today we're using bread flour. I've just now gotten this. I've been kneading for probably a minute or 2. And then so now we're gonna take it, and it's still got a little stickiness to it. We're kneading it on itself. Not my favorite thing to do, but one easy way to help out. You don't want to overdo it with the flour, but if it's sticking, use flour. All right, one way they use these bench scrapers, you'll see them take it and cut. Sometimes they'll form everything on the bench, so to speak. But we take it and we move it around. So we're gonna do this until we have a less stickier dough. I mean, this is less stickier than it was 2 minutes ago, but it's still sticky nonetheless. All right, so I am going to do this. I'll bring you guys back. I'm getting ready to give this dough its first rise. Right? Stay tuned. All right, so I've got my 2 dough balls here. Here's how we're gonna play this. We're gonna go for our initial proof at room temperature. Let's get these into, still sticky, but that's fine. This curing process or fermentation process will help get rid of some of that stickiness. All right. I get the other in this bowl. These bowls have been lightly greased. All right. So these are going to get covered. Was that the wrong top? Get these covered. These are going to set out at a room temperature for the next hour. I'll bring you guys back to show you what we're going to do with these next. Stay tuned. All right, so here's one of the doughs. It's been in here for the last 30 minutes. We're going to do a bit of what's known as strength folds, right? So we're going to grab the dough. Looking good, all right? We're just going to fold it onto itself. Flour here is to make sure that the dough isn't sticking to our hands. I'm going to take this and flip it over. Going into my fridge. Stay tuned. All right, here are 2 doughs. You can see they've expanded, right? Right now, I've got them setting out to get to about room temperature so I can start forming these pizza rounds. All right, so there's the dough. Let me show you what I've got going on over here. I've got my ingredients for my white sauce. Both of these are going to be white sauce pizzas, except the protein is going to be different on each one. We've got red onion, garlic, red bell pepper. I've got some chicken breast that I had dry brining overnight, and I went ahead and seared this off over charcoals when I got home from service, and then I made my own homemade sweet and spicy Italian sausage. So these are going to be our toppings. I've got to shred some cheese, but right now we're going to go ahead and start working on this white sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get this the stove on. I had hoped to be done with this by now. That way I could actually be eating, because I'm actually really hungry. But you know, stuff happens, stuff comes up. So we're going to go ahead and get this butter melted. Now this white pizza sauce, the basis of it is going to be a bechamel. Bechamel is like we're going to make a roux, except we don't let that bechamel get as dark as a roux, right? Technically still a roux. So I'm using butter and flour as the base. You can use flour and oil if you want, but I'm using butter and flour. I feel like butter has a bit more flavor to it. Stay tuned. All right, now that my butter has melted, I'm going to start sauteing all my veggies. So in here, I just browned off that sweet hot Italian sausage that I made, right? So red bell pepper, red onion. All right. All right. So I chose to do a white sauce. By all means, You can do a red sauce that's more traditional. So we're going to let these veggies saute here in this mixture of butter, and then I'm going to go in with my the rest of my bechamel, the flour. So you want to go 1 part butter to equal parts flour. So this is about 5 teaspoons of butter. So I'm going to go about 5 teaspoons of flour. Coming up, I'm just going to saute. I need these to lose some of their body, lose some of their moisture. I don't want all that moisture coming out on my actual pizza and make the crust soggy, right? So I'll bring you guys back when we have some more action happening. Going in with my garlic. Give that a few seconds so it becomes fragrant. These veggies are smelling good already. Just want them broken down. We're going to start going in with our flour. Here's the roux portion, aka bechamel. Not going to add it all at once. We add a little and then we stir. Doing it this way helps get rid of those clumps. I'm going to turn my fire down a little bit. I don't want any burning to occur. A little bit more flour. That's about enough. So you notice all this stuff will start drying out. That's fine. And we're going to rehydrate it, right? We're going to get some liquid in here. I'm going to cook this long enough to be able to cook that flour, that earthy taste out. Going in with a little milk as we stir. And after I add this milk, I won't add any more else. I'll add water from here on out. Again, bechamel is a white sauce. Thought it'd be nice having these contrasting colors in here. The reds. Of course, they would start vacuuming while I'm recording. A little bit more milk. This will be all the milk that I add. Now, as this cooks down, it's going to thicken. But what I want to do is catch it at a point to where it's going to be good as a sauce. Don't need much. We're only making 2 pizzas. And we're going to go in with a little water. And then I'm going to go in with some of my seasonings. Now, this would be awesome. You want to make a seafood pizza. This would be a great starting point as far as sauce. You can go in with some crawfish tails, some lobster meat, some shrimp. All that can go in here. Alright, that's going to be enough on the water. Okay, and then so now I'm going to go ahead and start seasoning. First season is going to be some beef powder. I don't want to overdo it, right? This has some salt in it, so I won't go as heavy with the salt. Some basil. Red chili pepper flakes. Again, we want to make a nice, flavorful sauce. This is oregano. Thyme. Garlic powder. Black pepper. And a little salt. This is diamond crystal kosher, So you can go a little bit heavier than you think. I think the last thing I'm gonna get in here is gonna be some Cajun seasoning. But again, not really following any real script. Make what I like, how I like it. But I promise you, this is gonna be flavorful on this pizza. Full body flavor. I can go ahead and also add in a few dashes of W sauce in here. I'll let this go for a few minutes and I'll start giving it a taste. A little sloppy mamas, just a little bit. This is packing a little bit of heat. This Cajun seasoning. I got kids eating this. Alright. We're gonna give this a good mix and it's gonna sit here and cool. Smells awesome. I like the texture already. This will thicken up some. I just need to be malleable so I can spread it over that pizza. Alright, we're gonna call it. Give it a taste. Salt level's perfect. You get those different flavors. You got that garlic in the background. I can definitely taste those red bell peppers, that red onion, and of course all those different Italian seasonings. Stay tuned. All right, I want to show you guys how we're looking right quick. We've got chicken. I've got some green chili. These are gonna be our toppings. Green chili, chicken. Got my white sauce. Got some red onions, thinly sliced. I've got my homemade sweet hot Italian sausage, pepperoni, Italian style cheese. I just hand grated some mozzarella, and then I've got what I'm gonna use to dust. So I've got some thyme, some red crushed pepper, and some basil. I'm waiting on these two things to cool down a little bit, come more towards room temperature before I start working with them, and then I'll bring you guys back so we can go ahead and get these pieces together, get them in the oven. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and put these pizzas together. I've got a pizza pan here. I rock in my oven with a pizza stone in there permanently. I'm just gonna put this on top of that pizza stone. I don't have a peel or anything to be moving this pizza around. After all, this is my home oven. So let's go ahead and get this pizza together. I got my daughter here again. She's gonna be helping me. So first, she's gonna get this pizza dough onto this pan. We can see that it's active. We see all the bubbles, right? My hands are clean. Her hands are clean. She's gonna go ahead and take this and get it all out on this pan. And that's how we're gonna leave it, right? So now we're gonna start getting our fixings on here. So notice I like my fixings really light, right? Not gonna go and shove a lot of sauce on here. So we're gonna get some sauce down here initially, spread it out. If I feel like it's not enough, then we'll do a little bit more. We'll do it just to the edge. A little bit more. Helps because this sauce is still warm. I want to get some on the edge over here. My edge is going to be thicker than anything else on this pizza. That's fine. Now just remember, this crust is still going to rise when we get it into the oven. That's real nice. And then so now my daughter, which one you want this one to be? Chicken or the homemade Italian sausage?
Homemade Italian sausage.
So now she's going to go on. She's going to go down with just a small handful of Italian sausage. Don't be too shy. And then now there'll be more Italian sausage on this. But now we're going to go in with some mozzarella cheese, really light. Okay, so now she's gonna get down. We got some green chilies. All right, and then she's gonna go down with a little bit more Italian sausage. This already smells like nachos or something. Smells really good already. A little bit more mozzarella. And we'll cap it off with some red onions. So that's going to be all for the major fixings on this one. And then she can go in with a little bit more cheese. Making sure to sprinkle it all around the pizza, not just one place. But we got another pizza to make, CC, so we gotta... Alright, then I think for this one, we're going with some red chili pepper flakes. Don't just drop them on one plate paste. So it might be better for you to take your finger Smells good already, guys. We're going to finish it out with some basil leaves. All right, and then one last thing, hey, look in there and get that garlic powder. The other side's in there. Big thing that says garlic on it. Look up top. A nice dusting of some garlic powder. Feel free to get this on the crust. That's gonna be that. So I'll bring you guys back when we're putting this other pizza together. All right, now we have a small deep dish situation going on now. I'm not gonna stretch this dough anymore. I think we've kind of stretched it to its max potential. My daughter's gonna go ahead and put her pizza together. And she's gonna talk to you what she's doing as she does it.
I'm gonna put some of the sauce on it.
So we're going down with some sauce. Don't need a lot. We spread it around, and if it's not enough, get more. You want to get towards the edges, not on the edge. Remember, if it gets on the pan, it's gonna burn. You can use a little more. A little bit more. Alright, and spread it to the edges. Again, these pizzas are going into a 475-degree preheated oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Halfway, I will be giving each of the pies a spin to make sure that we promote some even cooking, even browning.
Next, I'm gonna put some chicken.
What's next?
And then next I'm gonna put some.
Hold up. So we gotta do it in layers. Eventually you're gonna need to introduce some cheese, or else you're just gonna have everything piled on top of the chicken.
Well, I'm gonna use cheese. Then I'm gonna put some green chilies on it.
Reason why you don't want to just pile everything on top, so it's not gonna cook even. It's gonna look a hot mess. Come on, they can't see that. Let's go.
Then I'm gonna put some Italian style cheese.
Look. See, you're only concentrating on the center. It's gonna be a big glob of stuff. And you're gonna have a problem cooking all that down. So you gotta spread it evenly. Alright, what else? You can still do, you got pepperoni, you got some of that Italian sausage up there. Just don't go heavy with it.
Okay. Next I'm gonna do some pepperonis. Give it to me. Next, I'm gonna put some more.
Hold on. Because again, remember, we're trying to make this not a big glob of stuff. So if you're gonna use some of that, sprinkle it all around.
Next, I'm gonna put some Italian meat or beef.
Italian sausage.
Italian sausage. I see a really big bubble.
The whole thing, Mom. Because again, you're what else?
Can I put more cheese?
Let's go.
I'm gonna put some more cheese.
But again, you gotta sprinkle it around. You can't just drop it in one spot. Anything else? Let's go.
Next, I'm gonna put some red onions on it.
That's good, Susie. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Some red chili pepper flakes. And we got some basil and thyme. The other pizza's getting ready to be about done. Again, $4.75, between $4.50 and $4.75 for 12 to 15 minutes. Mine might be done a bit earlier because I'm setting it on top of a pizza stone. That pizza stone holds heat a little bit better than just popping it into your oven. You want to make sure the bottom of that pizza's set and not wet, not ooey gooey. What else? You want some garlic powder?
Please.
Alright, this is garlic powder. We're doing it from up high. What else? I think that's gonna be about it, mama. So this one's done. I won't put this in the oven until this other's done. I'll give you guys a bird's eye view of how this other pizza's doing here shortly. Stay tuned. All right, let's give you guys a close peek in look how we're looking. That's my timer. It's on right now. It's 3:53. Looking good. That crust is browning up nicely. You can see that big bubble back there. I don't mind it. Smelling really good. Just got another few minutes and we'll pull it out. I'll check to make sure that crust is not ooey gooey and that it's done all the way through. I'm almost positive that it will be, because that crust in the middle of that pie was pretty thin. Stay tuned. YouTube, B Smokehouse back here with you. Here's a part of our finished and final product. I took the one with the big bubble. So what I did off camera after removing the pizza from the oven, I did have some sticking issues. I totally forgot. I like to use semolina or corn meal on the bottom of prepared pans, as well as that pizza stone. If I just put a pizza on that pizza stone, it helps for the crust not to stick. But we got everything up. Let's see if we can look at that crust. Crust looking nice, right? A little thin, that's fine. Got some great browning on that crust. Bubble still there. Probably should have pricked that bubble before we started baking. Pizza is still pliable. Got a bit of crunch to it. We can see all those toppings that we used. I'm going to, I've already had a slice. It's quite delicious. Let's get into it. The highlights, that green chili, along with that sweet and spicy Italian sausage that I made. Those red onions bring a pop of flavor, a pop of acidity to this pizza. I wouldn't be mad if I had some ranch next to this. I do want to get a piece of that crust by itself. So again, I always am going to change something up when I make pizza. I never make it the same twice. Meaning, my dough is, I done use 15, 20 different types of dough recipes. Now, I will say this dough, the crust has a bit more chew because I did not use all-purpose flour, AP flour. I use bread flour. Bread flour is going to give you more of a chew. However, it's quite delicious. I did, upon pulling this out, I did hit it with some spray butter and went around the edge of this with some garlic powder. Hey, if you haven't done so yet, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. B Smokehouse, out.